Hello and welcome to your yoga asana practice for today. Today we'll be working on mobility. So this sequence can actually be done pre any other practice or just on its own on a daily and regular occurring cycle. So maybe first thing in the morning. You don't necessarily have to do the entire 30 minutes, but you could do it in smaller pieces, 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute. Do what you remember regularly, maybe while you're boiling water in the morning, maybe while your tea is steeping, perhaps while your coffee is brewing. These are good times to tap into these subtle movements for the entire body to feel ready for the day. So we're actually going to start today standing. Come on up to your feet. As you come into a standing position with your feet parallel and about hip distance apart, shift your weight onto your left leg and pick up your right heel. Now be mindful when you shift that you don't drop your hip out to the side, that you create a bit of a stability in the standing leg, and that the toe mounds, you could still push off of them and feel equal balance on both sides. Then you're gradually going to rotate your heel like you're drawing little circles on the floor just behind your heel. Take a big breath in and a full breath out. And go the other way. There's no set number here, but doing enough that you feel you're freeing up the joint, not only in the ankle, but rolling through every part of the metatarsals in the feet, through the toes and the toe mounds. Reset on the other side. So realign the feet, shift onto your right foot, and again, squeeze that outer glute, press down through the mound of the foot, and then roll through the heel. These small rotations creating access for the ankle to have more mobility and in turn more stability. So being ready to catch you whenever necessary. Pause at center, bring your big toes to touch and bring your hands down onto your knees. Now rotate the knees one direction. So we're actually firing into the ankle joint again, but also adding a little bit of rotation upward through the knees and the hips. Don't go too big, don't go into any pain or pressure points, but just see what's available. Go the other way. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. Now open up your feet, keep your hands on your knees, and pull the feet, or the knees, sorry, together and then apart. Now again, you just want to allow for where the mobility starts and ends. You can make this circle smaller or bigger over time. Your knees are meant to go directly forward and back, but they do have some flexibility left and right. But we want more of that to come from the ankles and the hips because they have the ability to have that dexterity to move around. Go the other way. Good. And then stand tall. Take the long edge of your mat and widen your feet again a little bit further past the hips, toes slightly out. Knees are going to track in the direction of your toes, so accommodate your feet in or out as you need to. Take your hands to interlock and then relax your elbows and your shoulders down. Bend your left knee. Pull your hips straight back, keep your chest up, and then bend your right knee and come back up through center. Go slow on the first couple, bend left. Keep your head, your heart, and your hips all in one line. Try not to leave any part behind. Inhale, bend. Exhale, sweeping around behind. Inhale, bend. Exhale, sweep around behind. And when you get some fluid in that joint, this will feel a little easier. But if it's your first time doing it, it might feel a little sticky and grippy. It might just feel that way the first couple you do until you get some of the synovial fluid flowing through your joints. Good. Do one more. And then pause at the top and we'll switch directions. I like to switch the grip as well. It just gives a little bit more training to your brain and your body. Bend right, straighten left, or bend left and straighten right, and then bend right, bend left, straight and right, tall. Find that fluid in the joints, sort of like how you start moving a chain on your bike. It needs a little bit of oil. Otherwise, it's pretty creaky and squeaky as it goes. You might hear little pops and cracks in your joints. These are often little fluid or air pockets. As long as there's no pain, keep rolling. 2 more. At the very top, pause. Bring your hands onto your hips and turn your toes in slightly towards each other, heels out. That's going to turn the femurs in your hip sockets. Now pull your hips back and let your chest come down. Soften your knees, even push your heels a little further out, and bring your fingertips to the floor or onto a prop in front of you. So if the floor seems far, you can either widen your feet, that'll get you closer, or bring the floor up to meet you. Now take a deep breath in. Put some weight in your heels, relax your hands and your head and your heart, and bring them all the way down towards the floor. Give your head a bit of a shake, yes and no. Shrug your shoulders onto your back and roll them a couple of times. Then lift up halfway using your prop, weight in your heels, hands to your hips. Shrug your shoulders onto your back, crown of the head reaches forward. So before you even think about coming up, get long in your spine and that light bend in the knees, press from the legs to come up to tall. Now at tall, toe heel your feet together. You can move your block back to the top of your mat as you head up there yourself. Now find that parallel stance in your feet. You'll stand tall, facing the short edge of your mat. And then shrug your shoulders and roll them a couple times. Kind of naturally, this is something we tend to do when we feel stress or like we're holding tension in our upper body. And then go the other way. So go forward. It's not a way we normally roll our shoulders, but it's good to move your upper body in a lot of different ways. Good, then pause. Take your palms open by your sides, lift the arms up to shoulder height, and then go right over left and left over right. And right over left and left over right. Deep breaths. That little whisper in the back of the throat. Stay connected to your feet, to your lower body. Good. Now, the only change we're going to make is wide hands, turn your palms towards the ground, and then slicing across, same movement, but slight rotation in the shoulders. So right over left and left over right. Make sure there's nothing around you might take out. And then you'll pause again and turn your palms to face the wall behind you, thumbs down, pinky fingers to the sky, and same motion. Now these first couple, do them slowly so you feel like the hands stay in this position, and turn the head of the arm bone, the shoulder stays in that position also. You might hear again little pops, little cracks as things move around, but we're adding fluid to the joint, which is going to help its movement over time. Good. Now pause, relax the shoulders. I'm going to turn to face you, but you can face forward, right palm out to the side. Take it out, up, palm still faces the ceiling. Let your side body get long, anchor into your feet, soften your knees, bring the hand forward, palm still to the sky. And then roll through, shoulder onto your back. Open up, inhale. Come through and around, exhale. Good. Open up on your in-breath. Come through on your out-breath. And make sure that left arm is relaxed. Do 2 more here. going through all the ranges of motion in that shoulder joint. And if something feels catchy, try to go slower there and find your way through. On the other side, left palm is open, take it out to the side, take it up behind you, a little lean, open if you need, stretches the side waist, which is also really beneficial. Take a big breath as you go up, follow with your eyes to get a little neck rotation, and back to center, good. All right, do 3 more here, open it up, come around. Remember, the lower body stability is really key for letting the upper body have freedom. On the last one, as you roll, you'll take both hands out to open and take them out. Inhale, up and over, exhale, and a little dive through and adding a little bit of movement to the mid body, the spinal extension and curl. So opening up, exhale through. Do 2 more. Maybe these last couple, you're keeping the eyes level. Come through, that'll just change some of the movement, and then release at the very top. Now from the top here, reach wide to the sides, inhale. Forward fold, hips back, exhale, come down. Halfway lift, and step your left foot back and bring your left knee down. And one of my favorite ways to move is like water. So flip your back foot, but put some pressure in it to get it off of your knee, or cushion that knee if it's really sensitive. Now your left hand can be on a prop or just on the mat flat, and your right hand to your knee to start. We're going to turn into a little twist. With this twist, you'll go up with your inhale, and then ahead of your knee and under on your exhale. So it's a little bit of a cat-cow like movement, but it's actually more about the rotation from one side, exhaling through to the other. Inhale to open. Exhale to come through. Inhale to open. Exhale to come through. We're just trying to lubricate the whole body as best as we can. 1 more. Yeah, then pause at center. Now, if you have a second block, you can bring it underneath your opposite hand, maybe even lift the blocks a little higher. If you don't, just keep the hand on your knee to start. Pull straight back, and then pull forward. Now straight back and forward. And do your best to keep the spine as long and as tall as you can as you go front to back here. You're sort of flossing the hip. Now the tendency on this one, keep going, is that your hip will sort of swing around as you come through. So if you have a mirror, you have your screen to watch, then you're coming through and then straight back. So not letting that hip swing off of center at all. The tendency will be to come around if we're tight in one side over the other. And you can do as many of these as feels good until it feels like that leg starts to free up. And then we're going to switch onto all fours. Now it'll feel a little strange because we've only stretched onto one side so far. You'll bring your blocks down, slide your right leg back, come into all fours and walk your hands underneath your shoulders, and then pull your ribs forward, and then round out into cat spine. Cat to cow, or sway back as some might call it. And then exhale through. Inhale forward. Exhale through. 1 more. Good. Come back through center. Walk your hands forward. Now this time bring your left leg around and in front to that lunge position. Left hand to knee. right hand on a prop or flat on the floor. And then from here, you're rotating open to the left. Take the arm up to the sky and then curl inward on your exhalation. Inhale to roll open. Exhale to come through. Inhale to roll open. Exhale to come through. And again, you're creating this sort of wave of breath and deepest and fullest expression on each end. So don't short yourself. Create an opening and then a through. Good. Now on this last one, you'll come back down to center, hand to knee, or if you've got that second block, bring it into play. And straighten the front leg. Keep the spine nice and long. And then come forward again, up onto fingertips. Hips back. And hips forward. So this transition of front to back is really just lubricating that hip joint. Now notice if you feel that hip sort of swing out to the side, come back to that straight forward and straight back, maybe going slower. Just a few more here. Don't forget your back foot is still pressing down. So if there's any pressure on the knee, it's lessened. Good. Now coming all the way through, you'll move your blocks to the side, come back to all fours. Now walk your hands underneath your shoulders so your hips are over your knees. And then inhale, pull forward. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, round. One more. Excellent. Walk your hands forward and come down onto your belly slowly. So think really controlled exhalation. At the very bottom, you can kiss the ground with the forehead. Shrug your shoulders to your back. Lift your knees by pressing into the tops of your feet. Inhale to curl up, cobra. Try not to jet the chin forward. Keep the chin in. Let the eyes look forward. Exhale down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale down. Inhale, roll up. And exhale, come down. Now press up to hands and knees. Walk your knees forward. Shift your right hip to the floor and bring your legs around to the left. We're going to set up what's known as deer position. Some of you might know this already. Your outer thigh parallel to the long edge of your mat. Bottom foot parallel to the other long edge, shin parallel to the short edge, and then find a lean out so that your ear, your shoulder, your hip, and your knee are in one line. So not behind, not in front, right on the outer hip, so your right hip, and then you're thrusting your left hip equal with your right. Now we'll start here and just create an action in your left foot. So you're lifting your foot up, and then placing it back down. Lifting it up, and you'll feel under your palm here, your glute really activate. Release it down. Lift, release. Good. Lift, release. And it's a really good glute activator, especially we've been sitting a lot. Most of us do. Good. From here, you're going to keep that relaxed, but start to walk across the outer edge of the knee. Or if you have the space without compression, keep length in the spine, come across and in over your right knee. And if you have a prop, you might go to forearms, keep your spine nice and long. If you can reach with ease, come down to your elbows and perhaps rest your forehead on a prop. Now you might notice your left leg gripping. Relax it here. Flex your right foot or left foot, sorry, and lift the foot up and then release it back down. and then lift it up and release it back down. Shrug your shoulders onto your back, maybe walk your elbows a little more forward and slightly to the left. And breathe deeply here. We won't stay too long. We're just trying to get some mobility and some action back into the lower body. If this feels intense but good, then do this every day until you start to feel that tension dissipating, or you're able to go a little further in and maintain that same level of expansion. Now begin to walk your hands back up underneath. Lean out towards that right side. Now keep your feet where they are. Flex your feet. Left hand comes around behind and the knees come up. Now you're on the outer edge of the mat. If you need to shimmy your hips a little, you can. And then just knees a little side to side. And you can either sweep around to the front edge of the mat to look forward, or simply turn to the other side. Now we're on left leg forward, right leg behind. Do any micro adjusting or grab any props you might need. Remember, ear, shoulder, hip, and knee. So not drop back, push forward. So you're sort of thrusting that right hip forward so it's level. And from here, with your right hand on the outer glute, flex your right foot, pick it up, put it down, pick it up. Now I'm not throwing my body to pick it up. Everything stays the same, just the foot lifts. Up, down, up, down. Now, if the foot doesn't lift, and that's possible, the glute's still waking up. So just keep thinking, I want the foot to come up, the foot to come up. And you're rewiring your brain to your body connection. That's going to help it come back to life. So if a muscle's not been used for a long period of time, it takes a bit more thinking to get it to act. Rather than overriding and using a different muscle, better to just think more about it and gradually get it to work. Come forward across the knee or up and over the top of the knee, pushing your right knee out. Again, you can come onto your prop. So if you feel like once you go down, everything sort of collapse back, come back up, maybe stay up on your palms. You might stay here, shoulders back. Only if it's an easeful transition to your elbows at this point would I come down to my forearms to the floor, maybe use a prop just to come off your wrists. You can also always use knuckles if wrists get tired, or fingertips, so you're not putting a lot of pressure into the wrist crease. Deep breaths here. And keep thinking about bringing the center of your ribs over the center of your knee, maybe eventually over the center of your shin. And this is a great alternative to half pigeon pose. So a lot of people really crave that half pigeon expression through that left hip. Instead, you can come here and take a lot of pressure off of the knees. Allow there to be a deep breath. Stay here for a moment. Ignore me. And then gradually start to climb yourself back up. Flexion in both feet. Remember, keep the feet where they are. Flexion the feet, no pressure in the knees, and then a nice side to side sway or swing. Now you bring both legs around in front. And then come into a cross-legged seated position. Now we want mobility in our spine. So we're going to start with just some hands on knees. Inhale forward, exhale back. And we're playing upward towards the neck and the shoulders. So we'll tap into those in just a moment. Pull forward, inhale, back, exhale. Good. Now come back to center. And spinal flexion extension also happens in the side waist. So switch the cross of your legs. Bring your right hand to the floor, left hand up and over. And then once you hit the resistance, rebound the other way. So don't hang there, don't stay there. So our mobility is just how far we can go with ease. We're not trying to get into deeper expression, just open up the side waist. Your eyes can be open or closed here. And I like to play with the transition of looking at the hands overhead, one option, or looking at the hands as they land on the floor, one side and then the other. You might start to find that the more you do this, the longer we do this, all of a sudden it gets a little bit easier. Good. Now we'll come back to center. We'll do a similar expression for our neck. So from center, I just want you to first level your chin. So that means like you set your chin on a stable surface, so it's not up. Even just the slightest bit of up will put compression into your neck, but also don't pinch it down. So find that level place. Now imagine you've placed your chin on that surface and you're looking all the way over your left side and then all the way over your right side. And inhale left and exhale right. Now you can close your eyes or keep them open, especially if you're trying to track the level. Then you can even just imagine that you're looking across a beautiful long horizon, maybe a wide open ocean, a big open field. Keeping the back of the neck, back of the head pulling up to keep the back of the neck in that natural curve. Good. Now from here, we're going to come back to center, chin to the sky, chin to the chest, chin to the sky. And imagining you had a dowel through your ears here. So you're not dumping your head forward and back. You're staying right at center and just sort of nodding, chin in, chin lift. Bottom lip stays sealed to top. Last 3, 2, and 1. Now at center, we're going to combine these movements. So you'll take your chin over your right shoulder, then your chin down like that nod, but now keep it on this axis and then look to the left. It's up and over to the left and then down and over the shoulder to the right. And up and to the left and down and to the right. Now try not to let the shoulders drop here. Stay really stable at center. Good, just 3 more. And if you feel or hear little cracks or pops or a little almost like grinding, then doing this more often, more frequently in your day or in your week is really going to start to lubricate these joints better. Over time, you'll feel more freedom. Come back to center, look over your left side, chin down, creating that axis, and then over to the right, down to the left. Over to the right and up, down and to the left. So keep the head on that side rotation. So you're really opening up the throat on one side. Ultimately moving the head in many directions, which affects the neck and the shoulders. And we're starting to create some space, becoming more mobile so we can shoulder check in our car more easily. We can enjoy the freedom to look around at the beautiful views that we have. One more. And come back up to center. Shrug your shoulders a couple of times. Sometimes that just feels good to release anything that felt sticky. And now lie onto your back. So after any practice, even just simple movements of mobility, we want to allow the benefits to be absorbed into the body. Sigh. Let your head be heavy, your palms fall apart, let your face relax. And feel how prana, energy, moves more easily through a freedom of these little openings, like little gateways, little passageways that might have been blocked before or locked. And the key is to breathe and to move. When we unlock these areas and the freedom to move is revealed, we want more of that. The body will crave it. The mind will remind you why you came to your mat. I always recommend staying here as long as you can, as much time as you can make, letting your body recalibrate so you can move more fully and completely through your day. So when you're ready to move, do so mindfully. Roll to one side and gradually find your way back to a tall seat. And we'll close with our hands at heart center, an acknowledgement of time and energy and commitment to move and breathe, to connect more deeply to yourself and in turn more deeply to those who come into your life. And bow to your light. Namaste. Thank you for moving with me today. I'll see you soon.